So the last component here is kind of what were the results of the program. I think the best way I can illustrate this is I pulled up the actual match generation summary from 08 to 09 to 2010. And you can tell on this chart down the left side, you see the grant year, total dollars sub-granted to the consortium, the match required, the total dollars spent to date, and the current match generated to date. And I just look over at the totals. The first year was a big one. And the totals came out really nicely. And I think in addition, John, you and your staff at the consortium had already, I think last bullet there, note number 3, you said just in 2009, the consortium contributed to the match as well. Can you talk about that for just a minute? Because I think that's an important piece. The consortium had skin in the game as well. We weren't just, providing a capability, that we actually helped contribute to the match as well.
No, I mean, we had resources working these projects as well, and we did not charge for a lot of those efforts regarding whether it was IT support that we were generating, it was meeting planning support that we had 3 or 4 people helping to coordinate the various monthly or weekly meetings that we would get together and bring the states together, bring the private sectors together, and have those meetings. And the meeting planning was not a project of ours. We were incorporating that into the soft match arena that we were dealing with there. And we also had other technical people on the emergency management side, and experts with subject matter experts that were helping the AHC to align some of these projects and what type of capabilities we needed to have, and to generate some of the RFP descriptions and requirements within those areas as well. All these people had to come out, and none of them were asking for any payments to help the AHC to move this along. So all of that was tracked as we were doing that, and came up with fairly low estimations on what an hourly fee would be for those subject matter experts or the meeting planning personnel, and then we would incorporate that into the monthly payments that we would also provide to HCMA.
And as we go into this chart, line 3, total dollars spent to date by the consortium contract is 4.5. It was a progressive thing. There were a lot of projects that were still in the pipe that hadn't been counted. But of the 4.57 million, 1.6 million had been generated and reported and approved by FEMA. So that's way north of 25%. We got way ahead of that, but this was a snapshot in time. But I think what proved successful was the governance structure, which kept government in charge, the education of the vendor community on how to do this, right, which took a lot of energy and time. John, you and the consortium's ability to organize those vendors and can work with DC procurement, do the procurement, right, which I think was very helpful. And I think we kind of mapped the process, in a conceptual way, right? So starting at the top left, the states and the UASIs would have the grant funds. The consortium would be sub-granted that. Procurement would take place. Vendors would include the match. The AHC, really the states awarded the contract. The states made the decision. Then the consortium awarded the contracts, managed the contract. This was kind of a full service thing. We didn't start with this model, but this is how we ended up, I think, by year 2 or 3. And then the AHC basically did the tracking and reporting. So we started out in year 1. We just did a few things. Then we did a little more by I think the 2nd or 3rd year, we were pretty much doing a turnkey service for them.